So in the case of Mindy, she had an extreme shoulder surgery to help stabilize that joint. It had dislocated on its own and was not stable at all. So her surgeons really had to reconstruct her shoulder in order to have it held in place again. And they told her, we've done everything we can. If this doesn't work, you're going to have to get your shoulder fused, which would mean she wouldn't be able to lift her arm or move it at all. So she was very distressed when she came in, and her shoulder had failed. Her shoulder had dislocated again. Um, and kind of looked at it with her and looked at which muscles were activating and which ones weren't. And I said, listen, the shoulder is mostly held onto the body by muscles. We know in stroke patients that are previously, like the day before the stroke, are very strong, strapping humans with stiff joints. They have a stroke and the muscles stop firing, and all of a sudden the shoulder is dislocating. We see a sudden change just with the muscle activation. So I thought, well, Mindy, if we can get your muscles firing again in the right order, perhaps we can get your shoulder to be stable. You haven't had a stroke, so your brain is still connected to those muscles, but for some reason it stopped firing. It turned out Mindy had had a huge bunch of life transitions at the time that she'd come in and a lot of stress. And so I thought, well, stress can intervene with the muscle's ability to fire, and it can really set us up. We're in more of a fight or flight pattern where our large muscles are firing to stabilize areas, and the small, I call them finesse muscles, are not finessing. They're not gliding and guiding the joint as we move. So we worked on settling down some of the big muscle firing and activating the stabilizers around the shoulder. And over time, Mindy started to learn again how to hold her shoulder in place while she was moving and build movement patterns around firing those stabilizers again. Now, again, it's supposed to be automatic. For Mindy, it was not automatic. She had to train it to become automatic again and get those muscles on board. But she was able to move her shoulder again and get back to functioning pretty normally without needing to fuse that shoulder as she had previously been told by her surgeon. So surgery is an important part of the medical team, but again, it's a team approach. And so communication between the therapist and the surgeon to say, listen, let's give this a try. I think we can fire those muscles before we need to go and do anything too radical.